Let's take a look at the periodic table with my head blocking the top right corner, but that's all right. Um, Lots of things we can get out of this periodic table, right? We can see very clearly, typically we're looking at two numbers and a symbol within a particular element. For example, hydrogen here. We have that atomic number. Every periodic table is a little bit different. This is just the one I happen to have on my tablet. But, like our uh, our book has its own, way of arranging it and all that. But I would just get used to yours, whatever one you like to use. There's so many options. Just find one that you like. So when we're looking at this, we have the atomic number, we have the symbol, and then we have the atomic mass down here. And so I'll clear this off so when we can talk about the groups later. We're going to see, well, speaking of groups, that there are many ways of categorizing sections of the periodic table. Generally speaking, along this kind of teal blob here on that right side, this is the boundary between metals. Not that we can read but those are all metals on the left side of that squiggly teal staircase. And these are all non-metals over here. So just kind of general categorizations. Within those, we have specific groups. And that staircase, by the way, is called semi-metals. So boron, silicon, arsenic, tellurium, and then the ones below those are what are called semi-metals or metalloids. Further within this section, we see all these different other categories. For example, we have alkali metals here, which are the orange ones on the very left here. So I'm on screen right mode, hold up. Let's see, okay, let's go to potassium, for example. We can ignore that bottom thing. That's the old school electron configuration. We don't worry about that. See, it's orange, and it's highlighted alkali metals. That's the name of that column on the periodic table. The very first column, which is called Group 1, is known as alkali metals. Group 2, such as the one containing strontium, is known as the alkaline earth metals. Again, these are just the names of these columns. We're going to see, as we get into chapter 6, as I recall, how these are similar to each other. But suffice it to say that they are in columns of similar behavior, chemically speaking. So alkali metals tend to do the same thing. So sodium, potassium, rubidium, they all tend to act the same way as each other. And then beryllium, magnesium, calcium also, they react similarly to each other. If we continue on, that kind of maroon block here that has iron in it, for example, are known as transition metals. And that's something that we will kind of touch on, but we focus a lot more on in Chem 102, or rather the next section of Gen Chem. We have, after that, we've got some metalloids, which again is that teal staircase there, the boron, silicon, all that goodness. I'm going to move my head over to the other side now. There we go. The green ones, those light green ones, are just non-metals in general. And then the kind of sky blue turquoise-ish group 17 is called the halogens, like bromine, for example. And then the last column, the blue one, like argon, are noble gases. So you see at the top of this, we have 1 through 18 columns on the periodic table. Those are called groups. Some of those groups, like the alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, and noble gases, have special names. You'll want to learn those. You can also see on this that there are 7 rows. Those are called periods. So for example, argon, I need to move my head again. I'm now right in the middle. Argon is right at the intersection of group 18 and period 3. So you should definitely be able to identify the group and period of a particular element. So if I ask you what's the group 3 period 5 element, you'll find that, aha, there it is, it's yttrium. So there you go. So that's kind of all the information we can get off of the periodic table. And as we'll see, we'll be building on this throughout the semester. We'll have, in fact, an entire chapter just on things we can do looking at the periodic table, properties we can predict. All right, and so that's kind of our introduction to the periodic table. And again, we'll see this again in the future when we look more closely at the periodic table.